Just wait for my special guest to come on. Little smooth music. Wait for some folks to come on before I bring my special guest on. Get a little smooth jam going on here. I see you. I see you. I'll bring you on in just a moment. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Woo.
So you're sure it's okay to have music on in the background and Facebook's not going to kick us off?
I don't think so. I think they'll leave me alone. They have so far.
I know, because sometimes if you have certain music, then they shut you down.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off as we engage. I'm gonna cut it off. This is just to get people in the mood that come on board. This beat right here, boy. I heard this beat yesterday right here. It actually goes to a song that I can't put on for children. but the beat's cool. Welcome, Miss Shalina Charles. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna get started in just a moment. I see a third person coming on board. Somebody. Let me know who you are. Boy, I'm so pumped. Woo! Okay, that's my segue. Antonia, you're consistent. Girl, you're consistent. Tim McDonald, thanks for coming on board. We're getting ready to get into it, okay? Okay, Cheryl, I'm gonna cut off my introductions here in a second now because I can't say hello to everybody. I have to say hello to y'all at the end. But what I am doing is I am ushering in a movement for fathers. I mean, true fathers. Fathers that want to make a meaningful impact in their children's lives. And sometimes there may be some news media, there may be some things being said about certain fathers, about men not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'm getting away from all of that. I'm not even talking about any of that because I'm not dealing with anybody that's in that category. I don't associate with people that are in that category. I don't have any of those people in my life, and I certainly have not been that way with my own children. And so for the most part, what I've been doing is I've been getting like the male perspective on things. How the man thinks about fatherhood, how the man does this, how the man does that. I said to myself, I said, self, and folks, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to say to yourself, you got to talk to yourself, self, how come I have not had a female, a powerhouse, underline the word with a big black magic mark, indelible magic marker, powerhouse female on one of my lives talking about the impact of fatherhood. Because those that have husbands, they know that that husband has got to be some kind of an impactful entity in one's children's lives so they can grow up to be powerhouses themselves. So I invited this young lady on this afternoon. We're not going to keep her on long because she's busy than a one-legged person in a butt-kicking contest. I know that. So what I'm going to do is basically just let you know that the only reason I invited her on here is because I know of her background. I've been associated with her for a few years. I've seen her track record. It speaks for itself. I've seen her track record when it comes to her children. I've seen her track record as it comes to be part of a powerhouse couple, power couple. That even sounds nice when you say that, right? Power couple. She's an entrepreneur. She has, I'm gonna let her tell you her story, but I'm gonna tell you this. She has made a lot of money. What kind of money? I'm not gonna tell you the exact figure because I'm gonna let her tell you that. But she's rolling in dough like a baker's knuckles. That's what y'all need to know. Y'all need to know that. And aside from that, she's been impactful on hundreds of thousands of people. I know it's approaching millions soon, so I'm not even going to say that, but I'm going to say hundreds of thousands of people that have been impacted by her because of what she's done and because of who she is and because of the integrity that she has. She has a vast story to tell. So the first thing I want to ask as I bring on Mrs. Rhonda Lucero, I'm going to ask you, we're going to welcome you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm going to ask you, let me hear your history and your experience, because people that are tuning in right now might not know who you are. Why should they be listening to, why am I calling you a powerhouse? What makes you so special? Tell us your story. Tell us your history.
Oh, everybody's special and everybody's brought to this earth for a reason, a passion, a purpose. And, when I graduated from the University of Nebraska college, I was a college athlete. So that's where I kind of learned my drive. And obviously being a Division I athlete, it taught me to never give up, to go for what I wanted. And then, growing up in a home where my dad worked for the railroad for 40 years. My mom was an entrepreneur, worked for herself. I kind of just watched them. And I'm like, well, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I knew that I didn't want to work for somebody else. I saw my dad grind and grind and grind. We could only take certain vacations at certain times. And, I saw him work a lot of overtime, and he did it because of the money. And I just knew that that's not something that I wanted to do. I've always knew in my mind that I was a leader and not a follower. And, and that's just the way that I grew up. Got married at a young age, started having kids at 25. They're now 24, 21, and 15. My children are. And, I owned my own daycare center. So I, decided I'm like, I want to work for myself. So I opened up my own businesses. So I got into, corporate thing and then realized pretty soon that I was trading my time for money. And because I was working 6 a.m. to midnight every day, but I loved what I did because I loved impacting children's lives. And I knew that I didn't want somebody else raising my kids. And so that's the reason why I did daycare centers. That all started in church because every Sunday they wanted me to volunteer in the with the kids in church. And so I ended up sometimes missing church because I was in all three services actually helping with the kids. And, literally they're like, you have a gift, you need to do this, you should open up a center, you're so great with kids. And I'm like, okay. So, I just got a business loan as a woman, business loan, and got that and opened up my centers. But about 8 years into that, I knew that, as my children were not needing daycare anymore, that it wasn't my destiny. I knew that I wanted to still work for myself. It just wasn't my destiny. And, and then that's when I got into the home-based business arena and network marketing. And so the last 12 years of my life, I've been full-time and with a life, started out with a health company, now with the sister company, actually with both companies, and literally just changing people's lives, transforming them when it comes to mind, body, and spirit, as well as life experiences. And absolutely love what I've been able to do and impacted thousands of people's lives, help men and women all over the world. Really just go out there and live their life to the fullest. And one way that I do that is help people figure out what their personal purpose is and why they are here. Not everybody figures that out. But I do have a way of helping people with that. So it's been awesome. Yes, we've been blessed financially, over $6.5 million earned. And it hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of work. It did not happen overnight. I literally have been an entrepreneur for 25 years. So, it's not like it happened overnight. It was never an overnight success, but, being able to share, all those responsibilities and working together with my husband has been a blessing. And my children have really grown up only knowing us never working for anybody else and always just hustling, working for ourselves, having our own offices in our house, talking to people day and night. And we made some sacrifices, but it was all worth it. So I'm just excited to be here with you today, Jim.
Great answer. Great response. Y'all give us some love for that response. I mean, that's why she's a powerhouse. I mean, I'm gonna keep it moving. Like they say, keep it moving. Your perspective, being a successful mom, being a rock star boss, okay? Your perspective on what it is that you and your husband, his name is Tony, right? What he did, what you did to impact your children, because some of our children, they don't, I mean, some of our children, sometimes they don't get it. I mean, they sort of kind of get it, but maybe they're lacking in responsibility. Maybe they're lacking in focus. What were some of the characteristics of you and your husband's, what was your approach versus your husband's approach in regards to parenthood?
Yeah, well, first of all, your kids watch everything that you say, everything that you do, every move that you make, whether you're generous, open up the door for somebody, the way that you treat your own animals. They watch everything, the way you respect your elders. And so, for Tony and I, it's always about us stepping it up, always at up leveling our lives and everything that we do, because we know that our children are going to mimic everything, no matter how old they are. And it's crazy because, I have 3 children and all 3 of them are completely different. They all have their own drive. They all have their own passions. Not, I wouldn't say any of them are exactly like us, but they all have different parts of us. Even my 2 older children, they're 24 and 21. They have a different father than, my husband, Tony. And it's funny because every once in a while, I'll still see something that they're doing that's just like Tony, their stepdad. And even though he raised them, co-raised them, co-parented with my first husband, because the kids were back and forth in both of our homes all the time. We had a very open, when it came to raising our kids. But there was differences. And the reason for that is because my husband now, Tony, and my ex-husband, Lee, were raised completely differently. So it has a lot to do with the way that you grew up, the way that you were raised, what happened in your home as a child. It doesn't make you a better person or a worse person. It's just your mindset. And I can tell you this, that the way that my husband, Tony, was raised was not something that any child should have to go through. And that right there made him the best father ever, because he knew what not to do. And he even wrote a book about it. And it's not been easy for us. I mean, like, there's always going to be things that are going to be happening where you're like, oh, I would have done it differently because I was raised way differently. But as parents, you have to work together. And you have to know that it's okay, as long as what's happening is okay, that it's okay to allow the other parent, like the father, to step in and explain the reason why he may have been a little bit harsher on something that's happening with our son. Or he may really and he also was ex-military too. So, it's all about making the bed and picking up your clothes and all that. I grew up in a household where my parents never came into my bedroom and they could care less, right? My husband grew up where everything was perfect and you picked up after everything and you cleaned everything and you ate everything off your plate. So, there's times where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let him be his father because he's his father. And I may be a little bit more lenient on stuff, but it's been awesome for us to be able to work together and know that it is something that you do together. It's parenting, and it's not just one or the other. It's both of us doing this together. So we've had a blast. Our son now is going to be 15, and he is a lot like both of us. And he is an entrepreneur, and he is spirited, and he is outgoing, and he makes his own money online. He only knows entrepreneurship. And it's great though, because anytime I ever talk to another parent that like he visits his friends' houses, the first thing they always say to me is, your son is such a kind young man and he is so nice and he opened up the door for me, or, you know, he shook my hand when he met me and stuff like that. And I give that all to my husband because my husband taught him that. Like every, you know, every kind of respect and kindness that little Tony has, could be a big Tony and little Tony, it's all because of his father and what he's instilled in him. And so you have to work together, you know, as a unit. It's not just one person. It's not just the father. It's not just the mother. It's the two of you. Now, obviously, I know many, many single parents that are out there, you know, who are doing this alone. And there's many books, obviously, out there and different people. But here's one thing that I would say. If you are a single mother and, you know, and the father's not in the life, find that those children a mentor, a male mentor. And even though my son has my husband and I both in his life all the time, 24/7, I have still had little Tony find mentors, male and female, on topics that he wants to learn about, because your kids don't listen to you. They just don't listen to you as much as they're going to listen to somebody else. And I really, truly 100% believe the reason why he has been prosperous in the things that he's doing online is because he has went and found himself mentors and he is learning from them day and night, which is great. And even so much that my son has been able to teach other kids his age on what it's like to have a mentor, as well as investing in yourself. So a lot of the money that he makes, he reinvests it back into personal growth and development and different things like that. But he learned that from us, obviously.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. You know what? That's a phenomenal story. I mean, there are a lot of points that you brought out about being a stepfather versus being, you know, I don't want to use the term stepfather versus regular father, because a father is a father in my mind.
Yeah.
But being a stepfather, you know, stepping into a role of being a father is different than when, you know, a person's been there the whole time. They have to assimilate the information that they have within themselves to be able to pass it on to their son or their daughter. Okay, that's a challenge. You articulated that very well. You talked about how how old is your son? I think you said he was 15, the one that's doing stuff online?
Yeah, he'll be 15 in March.
He'll be 15, so he's 14 right now.
Yes.
He's trying to roll in dough like a baker's knuckles, like his parents at 14. That's
yeah, no,
amazing.
he, like last summer he made over $6,000 just online, and now he actually has a paid salary job online for another company, and they literally just told him last night they're going to fly him to Orlando in April for some big video conferencing thing that they want to do.
That
and
is phenomenal.
He asked me if he could go, and I said, save up your money, obviously, to pay for the hotels, even though they're going to pay for the flights. And I said, and we're there, and it works out perfectly for our dates.
Well, I know what sparked him to be able to start doing what he's doing, but what is he doing? What particularly? I mean, you say he's got an online business. What is he doing that is causing him to earn income?
It's a live streaming app. And this company found him on YouTube because he does make money on YouTube too. But he's just a little entertainer. He's an entrepreneur. He does, you know, backflips. He talks about things. He sings. He plays music. He's literally just having conversations with people, and then the app pays him by, you know, all the people that he's bringing on. So it's pretty cool. It's a kid thing. It's not like an adult thing. It's a kid thing. He did move. He was on a different live streaming app last summer, and you know, there was some things that were happening on there that I didn't approve of. So he got off of that one, and then here he is 6 months later. Another live streaming app came on with much more stricter rules, obviously, for people that are on it, and they sought him out and offered him a salary, and he's doing really, really well, and it's been fun watching him. He does have to work 2 hours a day. So he, it's 2 hours a day, but it's 7 out of 14 days, right? So literally it's 14 out of 30 days for 2 hours. And we figured it out. It's about $22 an hour, which is great. Plus he makes extra commissions and different things. He's got like some skill that he does, but it's just been awesome watching him because every day He's got his own office set up and we can hear him in his room. He plays his music, he does his things, and he invites mom and dad on with him too. Like they literally, these people that are watching him, thousands of people will ask, you know, where's your mom? Where's your dad? And, you know, they'll play the guitar together or they'll just do some fun stuff. And when we were traveling in our RV for 6 months, you know, he had a lot of people watching us because they wanted to see what city and state we were at next. But he just he's got that personality. He's not shy and he gets out there, but he also knows what's right and what's wrong and knows when to block somebody. And it's been great watching him.
That's outstanding. Okay, I'm going to transition now because that was wonderful. I'm impressed by your family. Okay, from stem to stern. I've always been impressed by you guys. More so now because I'm hearing some backstories of things I didn't know. Everybody has a routine. Everybody has a ritual, or they should. Everybody has habits that more so than not successfully enable them to achieve greatness. So my final question to you as we close this live down is, what is your daily routine and what are you up to these days? I think you alluded to some of that in the beginning, but I'm going to ask that question.
Well, every morning I wake up with a grateful heart. That's the very first thing. Put my hand on my heart. You know, I'm usually thinking about 10 to 20 different things that I'm grateful for. I'll sometimes speak it out loud, sometimes just say it in my mind. And really, that's the way that I start my morning every morning. And this is something that my husband taught me. But I also have a 8-minute meditation that I do on abundance every single day. And it's completely changed my life because there are a lot of times where people in their lives, they think of, you know, they don't know where the next paycheck's going to come from, or they don't know what's going to happen next month, or maybe they're, you know, a job or whatever it is, you know, and I know that, that your mindset is the most powerful thing that you have. Like it's literally, and starting first thing in the morning is what gets you going for the rest of the day. But that's what I start out with in the morning. Obviously, then I'm up and get my son off to school, come home, have breakfast. Usually it's a shake or oatmeal with shake in it with my protein shake, and then exercise. And the great thing about exercising, whether it's at the gym or it's at home, my husband and I do this together. We have a routine that we do. So we exercise together, and then I usually exercise a little bit longer than him. I always jump on the cardio and do some cardio, but you know, that is, our morning is like that, you know, and then obviously we jump right into, you know, get ready for the day. Offices are in our office. We're doing calls. We have separate offices. But another thing that I do every day is I look at what my goals are for the year. And I have 3 different buckets right here on my wall when it comes to life, health, and prosperity. The things I want to achieve in my health, the places that I want to go, and the people that I want to help. And then obviously my travel and my experiences. But each day when I'm looking at this, I'm like, you know, if I'm going to go and I'm going to go volunteer my time at a charity, which charity is it going to be? And I make sure that I've got this figured out. If I'm going to do animal rescue, where am I going to go volunteer at? If I'm going to obviously go to the city mission and volunteer and take gifts there for the kids, what month, what day, is everything that I look at that's in my circles. What am I doing today to achieve something that's in that? So for example, Bali, Indonesia is one of the things that's in my circle. I did my research this morning on it. I pledged on that activity. I knew how many credits that I had. I knew what the price was. And then I posted it on Facebook. Hey, I've pledged, because that is in my circles of where I'm going to travel this year. So it's very important that you're looking at your goals every single day and taking action towards achieving those goals. And so that's pretty much what I do, obviously, other than all of my Zooms and my calls and the people that I'm connecting with. The following up, I had 7 people that I was working with, giving information on my business yesterday, followed up with them. I'm also building 5 different Instagram pages. So I'm really, really busy and getting ready for some training that I'm going to be doing on social media aspects for my company Live. So I think that's about it.
Well, that's a lot. Busy. I mean, how important is it for you to write all those things down on a board that you can see visibly, like as you do? Because I think everybody, I mean, I know I do it, but everybody doesn't do that.
Yeah.
What
You
initiated you
have to
doing
see it.
that?
Yeah. You have to see it to believe it and achieve it. You literally have to see it every single day. Think about it, give it to the universe, give it to God, like I say, and believe that it's going to happen. And also fill your mind with the abundance mindset that this is going to happen, but you have to take action on it. Like some people think that, you know, when it comes to the law of attraction, you can just think about it, think about it, think about it. No, you have to go out there and actually take action on it. You have to do the research. You have to talk to the people. You have to figure out where you're going, what you're doing, and who's going to be the one that's going to connect you. So it's really important. And that's another thing with my son, my youngest. He's got the circles, and he's got them written up in his bathroom, like on his wall in his bathroom, and he looks at it every morning when he's brushing his teeth. And he knows, you know, his goals are obviously different than mine, but he knows how many followers he's going to have, how many likes, and how many videos he's going to make, and how much money he's going to make. Like, he has all that written down, and he's been doing that for years. And I believe that that's the reason why he's been successful. My daughter has a very successful YouTube page too, where she does fashion and beauty and modeling and that type of stuff. And knows that she wants to have experiences instead of things. I mean, when we went on a trip together for her 21st birthday, she sent me a text after she went back to Florida and I came back to Nebraska, and she said, I don't want anything for Christmas. I just want to experience different, you know, have these different experiences with you, Mom, and don't buy me anything anymore. Like, no more things. She gets it. And now my son, my oldest, who's 24, lives with his girlfriend, and they have a 4.5-year-old granddaughter, my granddaughter. They're both working, both full-time jobs. You know, they're getting by, they're doing their thing. You know, he's my oldest child, who I know has passions. He's got all these ideas for apps and different things that he wants to do. It just hasn't happened for him yet. So like I said, I have 3 different children, all different, you know, things going on in their lives. But obviously here as a mother, the best thing that I can do, or any father can do, is be their biggest fan. High five, hugs, kisses. I'm proud of you. I love you. I know this is going to happen. Whatever it takes, just be their biggest fan and just allow them to come into who they are, because not every child is going to be an overachiever like my youngest. Some of them it takes until they're 30 years old. Now, it just happens that way. I don't know why, I don't know how, but we do know that we all have different goals in our life and different passions. And then we all have a different purpose. Some people, like I said, never find it. Some people know what it is, and they just don't know how to go about doing it. So that's what I'm here for, to guide anybody that needs that.
All right. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up for questions, but I'm only going to open for two folks, 2 questions. Any other questions after the ones that, any other questions that are the ones that are initiated? You guys can go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I'm sure that Rhonda will have an opportunity to look back at this live and answer the questions that you basically share in this live. So does anybody have any questions? Ask them now. You got a powerhouse person here on the line that lives what she says and says what she lives. Okay? Literally. So now is your opportunity to ask a question before I close this down, and thank her for being attentive. Anybody have any questions?
Another thing too is, yeah, Jim, also, you know, I'm going to be 49 years old in March. And wow. I got carded yesterday because I bought a bottle of wine because we had something I needed to celebrate, and I got carded for it. And the guy goes, I would have never have guessed that. I'm like, well, how old did you think I was? And he goes, well, if you're close to 30 years old, then we're supposed to card. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that. But here's what I can tell you guys, you know, is that the happier you are, the more that you take care of your health when it comes to what you eat. You know, I've been vegan for a year now, was pescatarian for 9 years before that. The more educated you get on what you're putting into your body and the resources that we have nowadays, the better you look. The younger you look, the younger you feel. And age is just a number. It has nothing else to do with the way you look, the way you feel, the way you act. And so what I would recommend is that people just start with their health. Everything that you do, from exercise to eating right to getting enough water into your body, and that will drastically change. And really just do just really educate yourself on what it is that you're actually putting into your body. Because I know some people will go through a drive-through and eat fast food, and it's not food. It's literally not food. So the more fresh vegetables and fruit, stuff like that you can get, that are non-GMO, you know, and organic, the better you're going to feel. And I know that you know about this stuff, Jim, but I'm just saying, like, so people always say, well, how do you look so young? And I'm like, well, first of all, the happier you are, the younger you look. And if you're not happy, then do something about that.
Well, I mean, you know what? I want to take a special opportunity to thank you, and y'all give us some more hearts. Y'all give her a handful of hearts. Give us some more hearts because she really brought it. She really brought it. Vegan, entrepreneur, driven, organized, routine-oriented, habitual, ritualistic, focused. A whole bunch of adjectives I could label Mrs. Rhonda Lucero on, the least of which a good friend of mine who I highly respect. I don't see any questions, so what I'm going to do, since nobody has any questions, you must have answered all their questions. I'm going to go ahead and let you go and just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to make sure everybody shares this live video because she mentioned a sister company called Live. You might want to find out what it is that she's doing. I mean, if I'm talking to somebody that's made over $6 million, it's just me. I might have a couple of questions for them, even in the quiet time. If I have somebody that has a successful family of entrepreneurs, I might want to have a conversation with them. Y'all go ahead and reach out to her. And I want to say again, Rhonda, thank you so much for being on here. I appreciate you. And you have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Jim. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. That was live. I got another one I'm going to do tomorrow morning with a powerhouse entrepreneur tomorrow morning. Family man. 9:30 tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you got your face in the place. Okay, make sure you get your face in the place. If you got any questions that you didn't want to ask online while she was on, just go ahead and put them down in the comments. I'm sure she'll go back and review this, and she will see it. Let me go ahead and close this up by saying hello to everybody that's on here. I always do that. Let me go back. Thank you, Michelina Charles, for being on here. Tim McDonald, Antonia, Cheryl Berman, Dana Solomon, Gary, Greg, Johnny, HP, Lindy, Ann, Andre. What else I got on here? Hold on. Andre, Brandon, TJ Taylor, Franco, Catherine, Charlene, Gossett, Renard, Hillary, Chantel, Tyler, Clarence, Bill Neeson, Big Sir, oh yeah, the last thing that Rhonda says here in a comment, and this is what I do as well, don't forget to give your kids video and reading material that will enhance their lives. I send videos every day to my kids via text. That's a powerful thing. I'm telling you, when you go ahead and you acknowledge your children on social media, what they're doing is phenomenal. You get them in front of personal development, be it video, audio content, or reading material, it'll change everything. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for attending. Share this, and did I say share this? Have a good day.